Hey everyone, we'll get back to the podcast in a second, but first I have a new novel out, Holtman Arms. It follows Colvin Hall, an aspiring writer who decides to write a romance novel on a whim, sends it to a publisher, and it becomes a huge success. The only problem is, no one knows it's him because he writes under the pen name Mary Ballantyne. With all of the money and none of the fame, Colvin longs for the world to recognize his accomplishments. When he gets an opportunity to write a freelance article on a washed-up 90s pop star looking for a comeback, that recognition starts to come, but is it all he hoped for? It doesn't matter, because he's getting it whether he likes it or not. Holtman Arms is the second in my author's cycle after A Girl and a Gun, and like that previous novel, it explores themes of success and accomplishment in the 21st century. You can buy it now through Amazon in paperback or on Kindle. The link is in the podcast description. As always, thanks for your support.
Direct-to-Video Connoisseur podcast. As always, this is Matt here, and I am joined by frequent collaborator Ty from Comeuppance Reviews. Welcome back, Ty.
Hey, I'm back to talk more Willis. I know last time we talked about the Dolph Lundgren and Frank Grillo. What was the other one? Oh, Shadow Wolves. I forgot about it.
Yeah. We're going back to the Willis Well now.
Yes, I like that. Yeah, tapping it again. See, we're running out of taps.
Yeah, I don't know. We got quite a bit. We could do years of Willis podcasts if we wanted to. Yeah, he just done 2022 and 2023 alone. We still have a long ways to go if we were even gonna. I mean, we were just talking about it that considering doing like those Detective Night movies that came out. So far, only one of them, Detective Night Rogue, is available on Tubi, but we're thinking like, man, once we can finally get the other two, we could even do like a Detective Night episode.
Yeah, that'd be that's a lot of Detective Night.
Right.
Night and Day. That was that movie with Tom Cruise, right?
Oh, yes, I think so.
I don't think his name was like, Cameron Diaz, like maybe Sarsgaard, but I think his name's not like Tom Knight at all. It's just like, it's not his name.
Right.
It's like Tom Cruise.
Right.
It's like, that's a movie on a screen. If you've ever watched it. It's like,
yeah. I do kind of wonder with Tom Cruise. I think he got a little bit of a bounce back with the Top Gun, but I wonder, especially with all like the Scientology things and all the other stuff with him, like if there's a point where he makes his way into the Emmett Furler, like if Emmett Randall Emmett shows up with the scroll.
If Tom Cruise finally falls into straight to video. Yeah. That would be the pinnacle. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I have to wait a few more years for that.
I think you're right. I think the whispers are starting. People are starting to say like, it's the whole Scientology thing. It's the leader of Scientology.
Nagging at him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the leader's wife is missing. Has been missing for like over a decade now, and everybody's like, what's going on there?
Savage. I like Zeno. He's the owner of Scientology. Owner. Yeah, he owns it.
I know. I wonder. That's the other thing I wonder too, because I think what I've read is that Tom Cruise is like number 2 in Scientology, and it's funny because you had Travolta doing Battlefield Earth, doing the actual L. Ron Hubbard movie. I'm surprised Cruise hasn't done more L. Ron Hubbard adaptations.
I bet he wants to, but I think he's remember he got in trouble with Matt Lauer. Now Matt Lauer's in trouble with his buttons, we'll say, and then it's like, you're glib. You're being glib, Matt. It's like, well, Matt was being glib actually, but he
right.
But I think because of that, I bet he wants to do something, but he really can't. So he did something on the precipice, like an Oblivion,
right?
Or what's the other one he made that was similar? Live, Die, Repeat, whatever it's called, Edge of Tomorrow. Yeah. Those are science fiction-y, just like L. Ron Hubbard's.
Yeah.
Very science fiction-y. So it's like, I never saw Oblivion. Is that worth watching?
No, I don't remember the last Tom Cruise movie I saw. It might have been
Was it Tropic Thunder at least?
Yeah, that might have been it. That might have actually been it. Yeah.
Wow, that's a long time. Okay.
Yeah. I think so. I think that's the last one of his I saw. And it's not even necessarily because I used to be a huge Tom Cruise fan. I used to have like all his movies and stuff. I used to, love his stuff. And I don't even think it was like the Scientology thing. It was just like the movie. I don't know. Like I just kind of was like, okay, I've done this Tom Cruise thing enough, and that's it.
I understand that. I mean, I guess I saw he has a new movie coming out, like Mission Impossible Fallout, and in very small type, Part 1.
Right.
And it's like, hey, so how's it gonna end? It's gonna end on a cliffhanger. I guess what he does all the time anyway. Right, so I guess it's like
exactly.
He's the original cliffhanger. He's better than Stallone, I guess.
Right.
I'm still waiting for the uncut version of Cliffhanger. I'll wait patiently. I've been waiting patiently. Get close to I think around the 30-year mark.
I know. I think it's got to be close to time, right? Like you just got to it's time to do it. To just like
exactly. I'll watch it badly. Like if you just clean up some of the footage, you can find some of the uncut footage on YouTube. It's very, very rough looking footage. Yeah. Don't we have like these kind of computers nowadays that can kind of clean all that up?
Yeah, so that's my understanding. Is that
come on, Rennie. It's all Rennie, I think.
Exactly.
What's going on, Rennie Harlan?
Right.
I haven't really checked in on him. Oh, he made that Jackie Chan movie of Johnny Knoxville or John Knoxville. Jonathan Knoxville.
Jonathan.
It's very stupid. Ever watch it? I think it's called Skip Trace.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yes. I think I know what you're talking about.
Well, I went straight to video. See, Jackie Chan goes straight to video, well, at least in this country.
Right.
It's like soon. That'd be amazing if Tom Cruise went straight to video. I mean, we got Chris Pine, or he's on whatever that movie it's called, like The Contractor. That didn't come to the theater. So and I thought about watching it.
Yeah, then I think before he did those the Star Trek movies, he had there was a movie that I reviewed for the site that it was like a one of those like pandemic kind of movies.
Oh, Carriers.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
I think I watched it. I think it's one of those kind of movies on the screen again. I mean, I think it's probably interesting to watch now because of another certain virus, which you cannot say on a certain website called Instagram.
Right.
You have to kind of dance around it.
Yeah.
So it's like I forget what we said. I'll find our messages. Oh wait, so we want to talk about what we're watching lately.
Yeah. Well, I guess What have you? What? Yeah.
I'll tell you. Well, I'll tell you what I'm watching, which is Viper, the 1990s show
with Dudikoff.
No, that's Cobra.
That's Cobra.
No, this is Viper. It's very similar to Street Hawk and Knight Rider. So it's a Viper's a souped-up car and there's a guy who drives it this time, and he solves crimes.
Now, did that have Steve James?
Dorian Harewood. That's very close.
Okay. What one had who knows which one had Steve James? All right. So I'm looking up Viper right now because I'm going to stop trying to guess.
Oh, okay. It had 80 episodes. Well, technically 79. It's a 2-part pilot.
Yeah.
I'm watching. I'm on episode 12 or something. It's out of 80. Because I took a break from Melrose. I'm still watching Melrose. People want to know. I'm on season 5. I just needed a break.
Yeah.
But I won't take a 3-year break. I'll hang on. I just need a small break from Melrose.
Yeah. No, I totally get that. Yeah. No, I do remember Viper. This was
you do.
It was interesting. Yeah, it was kind of in that mix of Heather Medway. I remember her being on it. I think maybe more than anything. That was her. But I didn't realize that the main character, the actor's name was Jeff Cack.
Yes. No, he's good. It's been picking up. I think the first few episodes have been a little slow going.
Yeah.
And now it's picked up. And there's a guy. What's his name in it? Great. They're great podcasting. No. He's top bill. That's why.
Yeah.
Joe Napolte. He plays this guy named Frankie. Very Joe Pesci. His name is Joe.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this Viper over here. It's like he's like the comic relief guy. And then this Jeffrey guy. Or his name? No, James McCaffrey. He plays the main character who drives the Viper. He's kind of a cool dude, cool 90s dude.
Right. Okay.
Dorian Harewood is like the scientist in charge, and he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And some other people, the biggest guest that they ever had really was Bryan Cranston. He was in this episode I watched yesterday. It's like, oh, you still got it. You still got it. He's like kind of evil, I guess, but then he's not, because this is a syndicated program, so can't really kill people. But it's like,
you're right. I didn't realize it ran as long as 94 to 99. You know what I think it was? Thinking about Viper, it was one of those ones that was just on, and so it wasn't like it wasn't like Renegade, or Highlander, where I was like, each week I want to see the new episode. It was more like, oh, what am I doing at 3 a.m. on a Saturday night? I'll just check out this Viper show, or like 2 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon. Like, oh, this Viper show's on. I'll watch that.
I always liked that, though. It's like, we have nothing to do, or like kind of half children, half teenagers, or whatever it is back in our day.
Right.
Half children. But it's like, well, what's on? We got our own TV. I don't know if you had your own TV in your room when you were growing up. But
it was a cheap one. Yeah, it was like essentially the way it worked was if my parents bought a new TV, they would move. It wasn't until like maybe like the early late 90s, early 2000s that TVs were cheap enough that like they could just buy a new cheap TV to put in people's rooms. But at that time, it was like if my parents got a new TV, or if a relative or somebody was getting a new TV and they needed to get rid of their old one, you'd get that in your room, that kind of thing.
And it's 400 pounds. And it's like, it's like, this better be worth it so I can watch these infomercials for Girls Gone Wild or whatever it is. And it's like,
exactly.
It's like, it's barely worth it. And it's like, or Pure Moods, something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's always a commercial. It's like, I remember they showed, I think, that Michael Madsen movie Redline at like 3 a.m. and like, or it's like 3 a.m. on like channel like 6 or something.
Right. Yeah, it was amazing like how like TV at that time, cable was still kind of coming into its own as like this thing that it ended up becoming, right? Where you'd have these marathons on the weekends and you'd have like reality shows, like Real World had just started at that time, and so reality TV wasn't a big thing. But also with these cable channels, they weren't like kind of clogging up the dial, so there was a lot of like these independent channels.
I like that. Like channel. I think it was a channel. I wish I could remember this. This is about 10 plus years ago. They still used to show movies in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
maybe even longer. I hate to even say that. They should have a channel, just not the Spanish channels because I can't speak Spanish.
Right.
Put the movies in English if you can on a channel. I know, not the pay channel, just like with the commercials, with like all the old 90s TV and 2000s commercials with the movie on it. We'll be right back with Redline after these messages.
And even these TV shows, I mean, I think a lot of them that they put on streaming, I don't think Viper is on any streaming site though. It's
not. Okay.
I don't know if it is.
I haven't checked. I mean, I got it for Christmas because it's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
Christmas gifts, and it's like, oh, ask for Viper for Christmas. Yeah. And it's like, all right. And now I finally got to it. But I have a lot of episodes to go, and Melrose Place. But and what else am I watching? No, that's about it. Oh, I was watching the show called The Night Agent on Netflix.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's like a himbo kind of guy, like a fake Matt Damon guy. Yeah. It's okay. What have you been watching?
So my wife and I are binging Mad Men. She's seen it. I'd never seen it before. So we just started season 2. The funny thing about Mad Men for me is, now with having IMDb on our phones, it's like if I see a character actor that I'm pretty sure I recognize, I've got to go in and find out exactly who that character actor is and be like, what were they in? What else were they?
I get that. Yeah. You have an example?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So let me think of the names. Well, there was this one actress, I think her name was like Marguerite Moreau, who played.
I've heard of her. Yeah.
Yeah, she was in Firestarter 2.
Yes, she's like the main character, I think, in that.
Yeah, I mean, I think her claim to fame are like Mighty Ducks when she was younger, and like I think she was in Wet Hot American Summer, but she played a lady of the night, an expensive lady of the night, and so I was like, I was like, what is her name? I don't even know her name, and I was kind of curious how old she was too, because it seemed like the character was like a slightly older lady, or I don't know. I didn't know. So she's not that old. She's born in 77. So
yeah. So I don't feel like doing the math right now.
Yeah, but yeah, so not that bad. But yeah, that was one. Oh man, I can't remember the name of this one actor. He played a character named Jimmy Barrett. Let me take a look because he is he's someone that I've seen in a bunch of stuff. So he was one that I was like, I got to figure that guy out.
Because while you look, I mean, if we're talking about the Mighty Ducks for at least a second, you gotta like the part. I think it's part 2, and they're really getting mad at Bombay. Like the kids are like, he's like, Bombay's really pushing them. You gotta beat these people. And then the other assistant woman coach says, "They're calling you Coach Blood."
Those movies, like, I was
one serious part. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I remember watching, like, what was it? I think it was the second movie where like they go to like the Mall of America because they're
was
just
the Mall
like,
or was it Beverly Hills? My memory of it is terrible.
Beverly Hills was like another. Well, was that part 3?
That was part 3. Okay, that's part 3. That just I did not remember that.
Because remember the Southern cowboy guy says the word rodeo when he means rodeo.
Rodeo
right.
Drive.
Yeah, Rodeo Drive. Like, oh, look,
I've been to
Rodeo
Drive. It's very interesting. A lot of shops.
Yeah. I've been kind of near it. My friend and I drove past it, but yeah, it is one of those funny things where you're like, how do I want to say it? It's like one of those things where you're just like, you're like, we just drove past it, but it's like it's one of those things where it looks better on TV, I think.
Yeah, because they got those super close-ups, and here comes Rodeo Drive, here comes the Hollywood sign.
Right, a little like guitar playing.
Yeah. I think the whole movie, or half the movie of Taking of Beverly Hills, is just shots of Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Oh, you're looking up the character actor.
So the actor's name is Patrick Fischler, and so he just I've seen him in like so many things, and he just like he plays the character of Jimmy Barrett that he plays is like a Don Rickles, like older, like insult comic kind of character.
Okay.
It's like what do you think, folks? What do you hey, look at this, that kind of thing. And it's hilarious, and I was just like, I know that guy from so many things. I got to just see, who he is. And so what happens is, of course, when I'm looking this stuff up, is that I'm not paying attention to the show.
Well, this is a very talky program. I've only seen the first season because I thought, well, it's not for me.
Yeah.
So it's like you could just probably read a book while you watch it and just kind of look up. Could be. I know that's kind of difficult to say. Mad Men is a phone show,
right?
But I'm gonna say it. It's a phone show. Unfortunately, a lot of shows are phone shows now. I hate to say that. I know we're older, but we still use our phones all day. And it's like I probably was like texting you the other day about whatever it was. What we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, Survive the Game.
Right.
Like, I'm probably bothering you while watching that.
No, that's kind of an interesting segue as we kind of get into our movie.
You want to talk about Willis? Yeah.
Yeah. Now, one other thing I watched. I watched My Dinner with Andre as an April Fool's post for the site, which when I was on your guys' podcast, the week before, My Dinner with Andre came up in conversation, I think, because somebody was using it as like a metaphor, like the movie's not like.
Oh, right. Well, it was the Jones, right? You got Tommy Jones, Captain Zeta.
Right.
Jones.
Yes, yeah.
It's like My Dinner with Andre meets Assault on Precinct 13.
Right, exactly. That's right. And I was like,
I erased that, so I had to remember that.
Yeah. So I was like, well, what is like I was trying to think of like an April Fool's post, and I've ran out of movies that are called April Fools to do like an April Fool's Day post. So I was like, My Dinner with Andre is kind of like so far from like what, but the funny thing was, one, I enjoyed the movie, right? Which was
that's how they get you. Yeah.
Right. I mean, that was one piece. The other piece that was really, really interesting is that Lloyd Kaufman and his fledgling Trauma.
That's amazing.
They were part of the production for the New York scenes, which is just like you just never know where you're going to see some of these names where they're going to pop up, and it's like the moment I saw the word Trauma, I was like, no way, not Trauma. And then I was like, and it's funny too because I'm someone who always watches the credits, like that's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
So and it's because of things like that where you just never know when you're going to see a name that you're just like, is that really that person? Then you look it up on IMDb and it's like, yeah, it's that person.
That's amazing. I mean, I'm surprised he doesn't tout that.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do a Lloyd Kaufman impression. No, he actually messaged us a long time ago.
Oh, did he?
On Twitter we posted Trauma's War because like the most action-y movie they ever made.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you write very well. Trauma forever, yay. Whatever it is. I can't really do Lloyd Kaufman here. I can't do Lloyd Kaufman, but I'm assuming he's a nice guy. It's like, it's like that was nice of him to do that, and I bet My Dinner with Andre, he should promote that. He should like have a parody with Toxie and Wallace. It would be amazing if we can get Wallace Shawn to be in a Troma movie.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Oh my goodness.
Because Citizen, because the first Toxic Avenger comes out 3 years after My Dinner with Andre.
Interesting.
So it's like so it's like really close there. I mean, that would be amazing, even if it was like, even if it was Wallace Shawn sitting in a French restaurant across from the Toxic Avenger.
Yes.
Yeah, that would just be
so
amazing.
Funny. It's so funny. I wish they could do that. And do it now. And what if
know.
Wallace Shawn's still with us, as you say?
Oh yeah, he's still working. It's funny. I thought maybe he'd been on the site before, but he hadn't, despite like all of the character acting work that he does. Like I think the only I think the only direct-to-video movie he ever did was it was Corey Haim that did Double O Kid.
Oh, he's in that. Okay,
he's in that. Yeah,
I know.
Which I never
Nielsen's
watched.
In that, right? Or was that the Invisible Kid? Corey Haim likes to be the something kid or the Invincible Kid.
Right. Yeah, he's always doing that kind of stuff. Yeah. Let's see.
But now he's gone. But
I know.
That's sad. Don't want him to be gone.
No.
Feldman's still around.
He is. Feldman's still getting after it. So Double O Kid, that was Brigitte Nielsen, and Wallace Shawn, as well.
I'm convinced I've seen that.
Yeah. Also, it looks like it had Nicole Eggert. I think they were dating at the time, right? I think.
Yeah, because they did Blown Away, which is a very ridiculous movie.
That one's a great.
You gotta get the unrated version, not the
right. Yes, exactly.
I haven't checked in on Nicole Eggert. Well, we can talk. Well, that's actually a good segue for Survive the Game. Nicole Eggert, another person who might have been a Baywatch related person.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's good. We can sort of do our we'll kind of segue.
I can talk about stuff all day. I don't even want to talk about it. We haven't talked about Willis, but I mean, like, it's fun to have this conversation.
I know you can get into IMDb like rabbit holes where you're just talking about everything all at once. Yeah. So we were just debating which of the two films we should do first, because the films we're talking about today, as we get back into the Willis Well, or we dip back into the Willis Well, is we've got White Elephant, which was directed by Jesse V. Johnson, and it's has a kind of a more star-studded cast, right? You've got Malkovich, you've got Rooker, you've got Olga Kurylenko.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's actually a good movie, and so we're like, well, do we lead with the good movie when the other film we're doing is Survive the Game, which definitely not so much. But also, it's possible that Survive the Game has more to talk about because we just got so many riff-tastic kind of topics.
There's a lot to joke around on that one. So I think White Elephant would be the first one. Yeah, we'll be a full frontal assault on Survive the Game. In a nice way.
Yeah, exactly. We kid because we love, but
exactly. Yeah. Especially the thing with Connor Connolly in A Day to Die.
Right, exactly.
Really, his name was. I laugh about that every day. That his name was Connor Connolly.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is that like when we get into we're starting with White Elephant does not have the Emmett Furla Oasis. There's nobody was forced to sign the scroll to like
the Randall Emmett scroll.
The Randall Emmett scroll to like make the movie a certain way. So this is really Jesse V. Johnson making an action film, and I mean, I don't know about you, but I think he might be one of the best in the sort of the DTV action world right now.
100%. Same with Isaac Florentine, right? So they should team up and for like which would be amazing. Yeah, this is pretty good. When I watched on AMC Plus, that's when I watched it.
Right, which is still available on that. It's also now available on Hulu as well now. But but it's still AMC Plus. Yeah.
You can run down the plot because I kind of basically remember it.
I'll give us a quick plot rundown. So we've got a character by the name of Gabe Tancredi, or played by Michael Rooker. Now this Gabe Tancredi, I don't think it's the same character that was in another Jesse V. Johnson movie that was also named Gabe Tancredi.
Which one was that?
That movie was called The Beautiful Ones. It came out in 2017.
Okay.
And so that one is also on Tubi. I've never seen it before, but it also has a Gabe Tancredi in it. But that character has a different wife. Yeah. So, but either way, Rooker plays this guy Gabe Tancredi. He's a mob enforcer for this mob boss Arnold, played by Bruce Willis. As you can imagine, Rooker he's getting up there in age, so he's ready to retire. So he's training his replacement, who is played by Vadhir Derbez. The character's name is Carlos, and Carlos goes to assassinate one of Arnold's rivals, and in the process, he's caught by two police detectives, one played by Olga Kurylenko. So, of course, we can't have loose ends, right? No, that's I don't know if you guys have used that for your cliche of the day yet, right? No loose ends.
No sense, yeah, we've done that. I think.
Right. Yeah. So they send Carlos and his crew go out to kill both of the detectives. They kill Kurylenko's partner, but when they go to kill Kurylenko, they have a little trouble because she's more badass, and so
yeah, she's been badass for a few years though.
Yeah,
there was that movie called Assassin Next Door, which I think was almost badass. I guess I won't say that.
Yeah, she's definitely getting after it. Yeah,
Courier is good. Did you watch The Courier?
No, I would need to get into more Kurylenko's stuff. I kind of feel guilty about that because she's got some good stuff out there, and I haven't seen. I know there's that one, The Courier. She had another one that came out called. Why can't I think of the name of it? It was Momentum. That was another. That one's on.
Oh yeah,
TV,
that's a weird movie because it's like, you should watch it. I won't give anything away. It's very ridiculous.
No, I need to get into more of her stuff because you think of like women in action. She's one that I don't mention her enough. I think is like one of the best out there right now. But we think of like Amy Johnston, and people are trying to talk about we think about like Natalie Burns, some of these up and comers. But Kurylenko's been doing it for a while.
For a few years now. And there's another person. Why can't I remember her name? Oh, the lady from Alien Covenant. Why is my name escapes me right now?
Oh,
why is it gone? But it's hard to do it live. So
I know that's the problem. I know it's one of the things about Alien Covenant. Catherine Watterson?
No, the other person.
Let's see here. Let's see. We get Michael Fassbender in that movie. I haven't seen Alien Covenant yet. I haven't seen that.
You're not missing much.
Yeah. Let's see.
Is it the other one?
There's a few women in here. So you got Catherine Water, you got Carmen Edjo, Kelly Hernandez.
I think it's Prometheus. I'm sorry.
Oh, Prometheus. Okay.
Yeah, it's Noomi Rapace. Sorry.
Right. Yes. Right. Her for
sure.
Yes.
Noomi's not in Alien Covenant. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
You ever see Prometheus?
No, I haven't seen that one. I don't think so. Is that another Fassbender?
Yeah, Fassbender's in it. Charlize Theron. It's written very poorly because there's a part that's like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, let's just say it's the most dumb thing. It's like, really, I lost brain cells. This is in the theater. Let's just say someone acts really, really, really dumb. I don't want to give it away. It's like,
okay.
It's about aliens, about these face huggers,
Right.
That's basically, I almost gave that away. It's like, oh, fine, I'm just going to say it's been 10 years since people have seen it.
Yeah.
So the guy's like, oh, what's this face hugger thing? It looks really slimy and gross. Let me put it onto my face. It's like, what? And then like, no, okay, now it's biting you and killing you. It's like, oh no! It's like, you're kidding. That was in a movie.
Yeah. I think I meant to. I remember when it was out. I remember they were advertising it and all of that stuff. But I never actually saw it. So yeah,
there's script problems. I mean, like, that's all. That's why I just mentioned that scene. And there's like a part where like people make fun of this movie. I think.
Yeah,
because like Charlize Theron's like running in a weird way, and then she should have got run over. You can look it up online. It's like, oh right, that is stupid. Yeah. It's just like, but now not talking about it, Prometheus, maybe I should rewatch it. And I think Alien Covenant is okay. It has James Franco in like in a FaceTime call, and it's like I think that's James Franco, but he's on FaceTime. It's like in the future. And then Danny McBride trying to be serious. I'm surprised it wasn't Daniel McBride, but it's like, do people like Danny McBride still or no?
I think.
Yeah.
It's a good point because I don't know what he's doing. What is Danny McBride doing lately?
I think he's on that show called The Righteous Gemstones that has that kind of Danny McBride kind of like humor.
Oh right, yeah.
It's like if you like the humor, great. Yeah. I mean, I'm still with it with that one, but I think it is running out of steam.
Yeah.
Just like the Seth Rogen humor, which is gone the same thing anyway, where people say something wrong deliberately. I can't never pinpoint what they're talking, and I can't never pinpoint that kind of humor. You know what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah, I mean, the Rogan stuff definitely like ran its course for me. Like I think with over. Like Superbad or something like that. At that point,
oh
that
wow,
was like,
that's in the beginning.
Yeah, I think I went through. I did Pineapple Express, and I was like, okay, some of this is working, some of it isn't. And then I was like, okay,
it doesn't. Yeah, it works, but it doesn't. And then first of all, it's too long. Pineapple Express. Yeah, and it has the parts. It has that cliche I hate where they get mad at each other and then they like each other again 2 seconds later. Yeah. You could have cut that all out. Could have cut 10 minutes out of it. The movie's already 2 hours. So it's like,
I think that
was.
Was
it need more Gary Cole too. But go ahead.
Right. Yeah. Most movies do need more Gary Cole. I think that's always a rule.
Yeah, I agree. Do you
I
see
mean, I
Simple
think
Plan?
No, I don't know if I've seen Simple Plan.
Office Space. I love him in Office Space.
Yeah, I think that has a good amount. That is the perfect amount of Gary Cole. But
That's true. Plus, his character is annoying.
Exactly.
What's his name? Like not
Lombard.
Nordberg. Lombard. Yeah.
Lombard.
Yeah. Yeah. Not Nordberg. That's Naked Gun. I've been seeing a lot of Naked Gun clips on Instagram lately when you do these reels by accident.
Oh yeah.
Like, maybe I should watch Naked Gun again. I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know these random clips that pop up on the these internet. It's like some like crazy like Shakira lady, and then there's a Naked Gun clip, and then there's like a cat. And it's like
yeah. Yeah. Instagram. I go on like I'll like your Ty Axelrod ones, and then
thanks.
Was it Andrew Babcock? Andrew Axe Babcock.
Yeah, he's
he
a
actually.
Nice guy.
Yeah, he's great. He's usually talking about a lot of great syndicated TV shows from the 90s.
I talked to him about Viper yesterday. I talked to him.
Yeah. He's so he's it's always like.
Oh, you talked to him too? That's cool.
No, I don't talk to, but I'll like his his posts and always kind of be like, oh man, I remember that one, or oh, it was great watching that at that time. Or so just kind of like the reminiscing, like when you see it, it's like, oh, I forgot about that show. This is awesome, that kind of thing.
Nice. Yeah, I talked to him about he loves Renegade and all those shows you can think of.
Yeah.
So wait, it's about White Elephant. So the plot.
So Kurylenko's on the run from the mob boss. She doesn't know who to trust, right? Because the cops are in on it too. But then what happens is Rooker starts to have a bit of a change of heart and realizes like this is his last moment for redemption. So he teams up with Kurylenko, setting the scene for this huge, big Jesse V. Johnson action shootout in a house at the end of the movie. I think that's pretty much it.
And he has those classic squibs that he does. It's
right.
Like I know it. I was like, oh, this is Jesse V. Johnson because he puts it in the back.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but
it was good. It was good. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Jesse V. Johnson. I mean, I think we talk about it. I think he set like a very high bar for himself with movies like Avengement, but comparing this to other Bruce Willis films, this is like next level for a Bruce Willis, 2020s DTV actioner.
My phone's being weird. Yeah. So. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. This was a little bit. I mean, for a movie, I'm trying to think. It wasn't that long. I think it was in the hour and a half range. It doesn't have a lot of Willis, of course. I mean, again, these movies. Though one of the things that's interesting about this one, and I don't know if you caught this, but because they you have to double Willis a lot, especially at this stage of the game with the movies. And I think there's a scene where Rooker's character, because Willis's character gets shot and he's in the hospital, and then he's like, of course, doing the whole like, everybody go out there and get these guys, the revenge kind of, right? Exactly.
I can't like David Rooker. That's like,
yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. But there's a scene where like Rooker kind of puts his arm around Willis and puts his head to his chest. And I think that's a double. I don't think he's hugging Bruce Willis. I think he's hugging some other guy because Willis cannot be hugged, I don't think.
Right. That's a good point. It's very odd. They did their best on this one. I think they did a better job here than Corrective Measures.
Yes.
On the doubles.
Yeah.
That was all shrouded in darkness when they were talking. And it's like, okay. And I thought Bruce Willis did the best job he could in this one.
Yeah, I mean, he's in it a little bit more than he is in some of the other ones. I think Jesse V. Johnson, I think there's definitely some realities about it being a Jesse V. Johnson movie versus your standard like Emmett Fuller Oasis kind of film where, Johnson's going to put a different level of style to it, but also...
It's a good point. Yeah. There's a bit more professionalism to it. There's a bit more, you care more. Of course, I don't know how the heck he got Malkovich to do a nothing role as a lawyer or whoever it was.
It looks like he's in the next 3 Jesse V. Johnson movies. So
who, Malkovich?
Malkovich. So maybe Johnson has his own scroll that he.
What are those ones? I want to see some more of Malkovich for 4 seconds.
Let's see what we got here. So it looks like there's a movie coming out called One Ranger, and it has.
I've heard of this. I think it's Tom Jane.
Exactly, Thomas Jane, and that one's got Malkovich as well. Thomas Jane plays a Texas Ranger who's going to London to track down a terrorist.
Sure. I think we've seen that plot before, but I'm happy to watch it again.
Exactly.
It's got is it Malkovich being the terrorist? I don't know.
It doesn't say, so nobody has any names to their characters.
Okay.
So we don't know who. The only one we know is that Thomas Jane is the all we know is that Thomas Jane is the Ranger, and then there's a movie also slated to come out 2023 called Boudica, and that one's got Kirilenko. And then it looks like Malkovich is in that too. I thought, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I didn't see Malkovich in there. Maybe I'm.
He's making some. I mean, he must just want to work now. I'm not sure how old he is. He must be 70 plus.
Yeah.
I think he just like whatever he can. I think he's just taking whatever he can take. He's on the furlough scroll,
right?
You know, or Randall Emmett scroll, and it's like he must be on there. It's like who can we get? Can we get Malkovich for a day or two? Because people think we all love John Malkovich. How can you not like John Malkovich?
Yeah.
But it's weird to see him in this role in White Elephant. Like he's just like I wish I could do an impression, but I'm a lawyer. I don't do anything in this movie.
Yeah, he's playing. What was the guy? Was it Tom Hagen? Was that the character from was
that Bob Duvall? Robert
Duvall.
Yes,
yeah, exactly. Bob Duvall. Right. Like you think he's trying to play that guy? It
doesn't work in this one. I wish he had more screen time because he was like he's there and then he was there again. It's like could have used a lot more Malkovich.
Yeah, I agree there. I think the amount of Malkovich we get is more scant than it needs to be. But it's also that sense too that Malkovich is like one of the things I think with Jesse V. Johnson that he does a better job with than sometimes with the Emmett Furlow films when it comes to these like characters only being in the movie for like 10 minutes or whatever. He kind of paints Malkovich's character as someone who doesn't want to get involved in a lot of this stuff.
Right. Like, I don't want to get involved. I can't really do the best I could do. I don't know if you could do a Malkovich impression.
I don't know if I can either. Yeah, he's
only Bill Hader could do a Malkovich impression, which is fantastic. Which I mentioned in the last episode, I think.
Yeah,
and it's really good. I mean, it's like and then he said, "I don't sound like that." It's like, because Malkovich is also on the show Billions for like a little bit when I used to watch it, and then he brought back his Russian accent from Rounders. Yeah, it's like, oh no. Yeah. Well, it's from the makers of Rounders, so it makes sense. It would be cool if that was the same character. But,
yeah, I agree. Yeah,
Teddy KGB or what Rounders.
I mean, obviously Savage Salvation. That's one that we are, waiting with bated breath to finally appear on a free streaming site.
Did I tell you I bought it?
Oh, that's right. You bought it. That's right. I forgot.
I bought it for like $15 or whatever it was on eBay. It's like, all right, I can't wait 8 months or whatever it's going to be to get to Tubi. Yeah. It's like, I need to watch this movie. I haven't watched it yet, but like it's there. It's like I need to buy it. I need to watch it now.
Yeah, I should maybe go to like I think I looked on Walmart to see if they had like a Blu-ray or something, but it was a little bit more than that. So
like 30. Yeah. I got the DVD, so
it was like 20 something. Yeah, it was like 20. I was gonna get see if they had a Blu-ray or something for it, but
$8.99 would be fair. It's like And I think I was listening back to our podcast we just did called Lady Cyber, and I mentioned that I need to look up The Gardener for purchase.
Right.
So it's like maybe I should. I mean, I'd say on 2 different podcasts I can remember.
And looking at Savage Salvation, it has like almost all of the. I don't see Texas Battle, but it has like kind of everybody else from the Emmett Furlow stable. You've got the well, actually no, I also don't see the guy who ate the cold hot dog in Wrong Place, but
that's a fair character.
Yeah, I see Sven, who plays the police officer, like the detective in the movie we're going to be talking about here in a bit. I see this guy Tyler John Olson, who seems to always be like deputies. Yeah. So we got some Emmett Furlow names in here. No Lala, as far as I can. I guess because they split. I think they split.
Up. They should get back together so she could be like a weird looking sheriff lady in the next movie. It's just like, no, but I guess we should.
Yeah, well, back to
White Elephant. I keep going to White Elephant.
Yeah, well, no, I think the thing with White Elephant is just that it's good, right? Like it's. I mean, again, Jesse V. Johnson. I mean, I haven't seen Hell Hath No Fury yet. But,
no, me either. No, I want to see that.
Yeah, but I mean, you look at the rest of it's like. So I've kind of I haven't. The other one I haven't seen that I know that I know you and Brett were talking about is The Butcher. That's one I need to see.
Oh, you gotta see The Butcher.
Yeah,
it's all your favorites: Eric Roberts, Robert Davi, Jerry Trimble.
Yeah,
and Jerry Trimble's really good. He like almost steals the movie from Eric Roberts. He's that good in it.
Yeah, so that's one I've really got to see. And I guess that beautiful ones that we were just talking about, I haven't seen that
I gotta
yet,
look into that too.
Yeah, but most of the other ones of his I've seen, and it's like, you get ones where like it's not like there might be things that are like off about them, or something like Debt Collectors, for example. That one kind of got repetitive, where it's just like go to collect money, get beat up by guys, beat them up as well. Repeat.
I never watched the sequel yet. I watched the first one. I enjoyed it. But you were right about that.
Yeah, but it's like there's still this really high action quotient that's just done really well. That it's like, based on what's out there in the market, it's like Jesse V. Jones. I mean, obviously, Avengement is up there. It's like one of the best, and Accident Man was another great one. But even like his, none of his stuff goes below a certain standard. I think is the
that's
the
an excellent
important
point.
thing.
There's usually a kind of a high gloss to it for the most part. It doesn't look like a junkie movie, which we'll get to very shortly.
Right.
And it's like,
yeah.
And but it's just good. I didn't like the Fifth Commandment. Did you ever watch that? That came out.
No, I haven't gotten. No, so I've seen it on. I don't think it's available anywhere. Because I did see it on his list of movies, and I haven't had a chance to see it. And it's got Ricky Yoon in it.
Yeah, he's very unlikable in it, Ricky Yoon. It's like, I'm really cool. I'm like the coolest person ever. I'm unlikable. It's like, no, if you just, as they always say to women, you should smile more. And it's just like, so. If he smiled more and was more likable, I think I would recommend the Fifth Commandment, because there's a couple of good action scenes.
It's got the only thing I remember Rick Yoon from was the first Fast and Furious movie.
Oh, right? I do remember that. Yeah, he was in. I think he's in Olympus Has Fallen. I think he's the villain.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you? I didn't see this newest Gerard Butler. Plane. Great title. No. Plane. I think it's almost like a joke. It's like Plane. Right. It's sure. I kind of like the simplicity of it, though.
Yeah. Yeah. So, he's also in Jiu-Jitsu with Nick Cage, which I think is on.
That's right. I did see Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, and Nicolas Cage is wacky in it, but he's kind of like, all right, I guess I'm going to be wacky in this one. Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
It was okay. And then what's the other one?
He was a ninja assassin, which I reviewed for the site a while back.
Yeah, that's a good movie. We're lucky to even have that one. It's like, because it's Rain, the actor, versus Shokasugi.
Mm-hmm.
We're lucky to have that. So it's like, I saw that in the theater back then.
We did Ninja Assassin.
Yeah, 2009 came out. I think it came out Thanksgiving 2009. I saw it not really opening day, but a few days after. I was like, "This is fun. This is good." And I rewatched it about 5-6 years ago. I was like, "This is even better." It's like because it's like they really just turn up the gore. Yeah, they turn up the brutal gore, and it's like, wow, okay, these are Rain's like just destroying this like fat guy in the bathroom, and it's like, wow, how do you get away with all that? I think because Avatar was coming out and everyone. I have a theory about all that stuff. It's like, so in 2006 they made all these. 2006 to about, let's say 2011, 2012. They made all these kind of crazy action movies, are full of tons and tons of violence. Yeah. So you got Running Scared, Punisher Warzone, both Crank, Ninja Assassin, Drive Angry, all those things, all around the same time frame, and they don't make those anymore, I guess. But.
No, the whole thing changed. Right?
Gamer too.
Yeah, Gamer. That's right. I forgot about Gamer. Yeah, it feels like the whole thing changed, right? With what was it?
And Rambo too.
Rambo. That's right. Yeah, Rambo was kind of maybe the last one, right? Like that was maybe the last of that, or maybe the second Rambo. The second, I call it the second Rambo, but like the second.
Oh, I see what you're calling it. But it's Rambo Last Blood, which we're lucky to have that too.
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
No, I haven't seen. I got to catch up.
You haven't watched Last Blood yet? Okay.
I saw the one before it, the one that came out in 2009, I think.
Oh, just Rambo, regular Rambo.
Yeah, it was like which was pretty insane. That one was like that was definitely brutal. Yeah,
that was Emmett Furla, right? It's like it's like when I heard that when it first was coming out, they have a drowning pool in the background. Not that I'm a fan, but it's just,
right.
But it's you get kind of pumped up. What's the act? That was 2008, 2009. What was that? I was like 22 years old or something. I'm aging myself for doing that math. It's like, whoa, I'm a 22-year-old dude watching Rambo. Whoa. violence, yay! As Brett says, shooting. I need my shooting.
Yeah, I mean, there's that scene where like he it's funny because you know what's hilarious when you go to when you go to the 2008 Rambo page. IMDb doesn't know how to tell the difference between that one and the original Rambo. So it's just all pictures of like of like Stallone from the early 80s with Brian Dennehy from that period.
That's hilarious.
That is so great. I mean, there's David Caruso. I mean,
that's one of his best work. What were you saying before though?
No, like yeah, I remember the 08 Rambo, but I haven't gotten. I got to get to the other one. I got to get to the other ones. I've kind of fallen behind on those Rambos.
No, it's fun. I mean, it's almost like the same movie, but I mean, like if you watch the trailer for Rambo: Last Blood, it is an amazing voiceover by Stallone. It's like, yeah. Let me see if I can try to paraphrase it. It's like I've killed a lot of people, too many to bury. It's like or not enough to bury. It's like not enough to bury, and it's just like, okay, that was pretty good. It's like, and it's Balboa Productions. You gotta love that too.
Oh yeah. Right. Well, it's funny because he calls it Balboa Productions because he doesn't own the rights to Rocky. Another production company owns the rights to Rocky. So it's like I think it's like clever. Him like trying to
beat him. You know.
Right. Across the bow.
I never saw Rocky Balboa. I still should watch it. It's in my pile. Did you watch that? I know.
No. So I saw Creed 2 with Dolph in it. So I haven't even seen the first Creed, and so
he's the only one to write the Creed 2. See, that's Dolph dedication.
Right. Well, it's funny because remember I think on our last episode we were talking about like the potential falling out between Dolph and Stallone. I think what that was
patched.
Yeah, I think Dolph wanted to do an Ivan Drago movie or TV show or something like that, and Stallone didn't want to. So I saw this article like posted on Twitter. I guess now Michael B. Jordan, because he's sort of, you know, with this new Creed 3 movie, he's working. Yeah, he's working. The term they used was a Creedverse, right? Of like these like movies, you know, movies and TV shows based on characters from that, and everybody was like, "You mean the Rockyverse, right?" Because it was like Creed is in the Rockyverse, like that's what it is. It's not a Creedverse.
So I can't watch those. I mean, I'll maybe watch 1 and 2 because at least has Stallone.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't. If there's no Stallone Creedverse, so it'd be like it's a. it's like multiverse. People love these multiverses.
I know. There's always these verses, but the idea that it's not a Rocky verse is just hilarious, right? Because that's like,
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a Creed verse, and I don't know if maybe the person who wrote it didn't understand what they were saying, but yeah, I think
it's Creed verse.
Right, that's what. Yeah, they were like, oh, it's a Creed verse, and it's like, what are you talking about, Creed verse?
The only Creed verse I care about is Creed the band. You know, when are they going to be mixing up with other bands? That's the Creed verse, right? Like. I can't remember his name somewhere, but
Scott Stapp. Is that his?
Scott Stapp, and then
Scott Stapp. Yeah.
Who was it? Oh, Breaking Benjamin. That would be in the Creed verse.
Yeah, I would love. Well, I would love if we were doing a Rocky Creed verse as like a series, like the origin story of Polly. That would be just hilarious. Like, and they just call it Polly, right? Because isn't that what you call origin stories? You just call them by the first name of the person.
Is there Polly or just Polly Origins? Which I like to say oranges because I say it too quickly. But Origins, it's like
it's just like, you know, this.
Go ahead.
Oh, and I was gonna say, like, what was the it was Back to School, right? That had that guy in it. He played like a Burt Young. He was like the bodyguard for Rodney Dangerfield. There's a scene where like a couple of guys are like kind of like causing trouble in a bar or something, and he like crushes a couple napkin holders. Yeah, so you get that kind of Polly. That would be great if it's like a cross between that Burt Young character and right. Yeah.
That'd be great. And also maybe he could team up with his robot. Happy birthday, Polly. It's like, I hear there's a new version of Rocky 4 that Stallone made. There's no Polly. There's no robot. I mean, so he cut out the robot. Cut out the robot. It's like, why?
It's keeping him up.
The robot.
Yeah, the robot was keeping him up at night. Like,
I guess that's what he said.
I don't know. I just can you just imagine him like he has a nightmare about the robot. He wakes up like,
I never liked that robot that Polly had. Never liked that robot. You know what? I'm gonna make a new version. No robot. It's like, did you watch Tulsa King? Or was it Stallone cast today?
Yeah.
But it's like,
I haven't seen any Tulsa King yet. I know.
Okay, I know. Oh, yeah, Paramount, right? Because you've been watching 90210.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So I could dip into it if I wanted to and see what's going on there with Stallone and that.
Well, there's that other movie. We should probably go back to Bruce, but I mean, like, there's that movie that's on Amazon Prime, Samaritan.
Oh yes.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah,
but
I think that
I'll watch those. I'll watch something. I mean, I'll have to write that down to watch that.
Yeah. See what's going on.
I'm like an old superhero. It's like. I think he didn't want to, like, he was like not forced to promote it, but it's like, oh right, I guess Samaritan's gonna be on Amazon Prime Video. I guess I'm gonna go to the theater. And it's like, see, if we're gonna go to ICU 2, that's his best work.
It's going to be interesting to see what this Expendables 4 movie ends up being.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I was going to say, I think it's fascinating, right? Like what we end up getting with this, like, because I think we've talked about this, that like he did Expendables 1 and the movie was stolen by Dolph. So he does Expendables 2 and gives Dolph kind of a lesser part, and the movie gets stolen by Van Damme. Yeah. So then part 3, he's just like, okay, I'm just going to replace all these guys with like Kellen Lutz and Ronda Rousey. And then Mel Gibson comes in and steals the movie.
Yeah.
And so it's like, who's going to steal it this time? I mean, I see 50 Cents on the list. Maybe
50 Cent, Andy Garcia. You might get stolen by Andy Garcia. It's like, like Andy Garcia's in this. Andrew Garcia. It's going to do. I mean, there's some behind the scenes photos on IMDb, and it's like, oh, Andy Garcia. Huh? He's gonna, like, when he yells, it's fun. You ever hear Andy Garcia yell? It's like, but he's getting old there now, so maybe he won't yell because he might hurt his voice. But just like,
I am curious to see Mike Mueller, who was in. What was it? Oh, why can't I think of the name? This is horrible. The one with what's his face in it? Was it Mark Dacascos movie? Ultimate Justice.
Ultimate Justice. Yeah.
Is that what it was?
I think it was called that. Yeah.
Who's fun in that? Ultimate Justice. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, but Mike Mueller like really stole the show in that one, and so I'm curious to see what he does at Expendables 4. That could be really good.
I want to see what's gonna happen because I saw John Wick 4 with our buddy Scott Adkins.
Oh yes, yeah.
And he definitely looks like this big fat German guy. He did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun to watch him and Keanu have a fight scene, which that happens, not a spoiler. But it's like, that's awesome. Yeah. I kind of wish he wasn't wearing the fat suit.
Right.
But I'll take what I can get because it's still pretty cool. It's still very well done. You should check it out. I don't know. Do you have 3 hours to spare?
Oh, I was thinking about it because the problem for me, so the problem for me with the 3 hour movie is not that it's 3 hours, but there's no intermission. I need like a
we've been talking about that the whole time when I was setting this up. It's like no intermission.
That's what they used to do back in this. Lawrence of Arabia has an intermission. It's like Gone with the Wind. You get an intermission. It's like you got to make the movie over. I think if it's over 2 hours, you got to have an intermission. I mean, I would like an intermission for a 2 hour movie. I'd like it, at the hour mark. You take a break and we all refill our popcorn and stuff like that. But
we don't do that anymore.
No intermissions. But I think
you gotta watch the whole thing in one shot. Or
yeah, one sitting. I don't need the movie all. Just because that's the one thing about watching it at home is I can take an intermission whenever I want. I can just pause it and get up and do whatever I got to do. I
think there was an intermission for Grindhouse. I think you watch Death or whatever it was called, Planet Terror, and then you wait a few minutes and then you go right to Death.
And you go right into the next one. Yeah.
That would have been time for, if Tarantino has Paul, he could have had an intermission for that. That was long.
Yeah, because you think about it, right? When you're in a car, if you're doing a long car trip, right? I mean, yes, some people push it, right? And they just stay in the car and just stay forever. Right. But usually after a couple hours, people get out, in a rest area, you kind of, stretch your feet a little bit, that kind of thing. So, if that's the expectation with a car ride, a movie is kind of a similar thing in that sense that like you're sitting in one place. I mean, I guess planes, right? Planes don't have intermissions, but at least with a plane, you can get up and walk around a little bit in some cases if there's not turbulence.
So I guess we'll have to go back to White Elephant. I guess I would recommend it and go to Survive the Game.
Yeah, let's. I think we've said enough. I think the two big things. I mean, obviously Rooker's good in it. Jesse V. Johnson, another solid outing for him. Olga Kurylenko, I think, up and coming, probably one of the, top female action names in the biz. And then you get a little Bruce Willis as well.
and also Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
But, so now we unfortunately go to Survive the Game, which I called Survive the Movie.
Yes. Yeah. This one, I would say, I mean, what where do we start with Survive the Game?
Yes.
I mean, first off, this is my first Chad Michael Murray Dolph movie, which I know the two of them have worked on a lot.
Bruce movie.
Bruce movie, yeah. What did I? Yeah, my first Chad Michael Murray Bruce Willis movie, and I from my, well, maybe should I just give a synopsis first before we get into how we?
Sure.
Okay, so Bruce Willis and this other guy named Sven Temmel, they're police detectives who they go to do a drug bust on Zach Ward, Ava from Hot Seat, and the guy who ate the cold hot dog in wrong place. So they go to this drug bust. Yeah, exactly. And there's a shootout that happens, which, of course, all of these people are within about 10 feet of each other, and they can't hit each other until finally Bruce takes one in the stomach. Next thing we know, there's a car chase. Sven is chasing Ava and Zach Ward out to an abandoned house that is owned by Chad Michael Murray. And from there, it's sort of your game of cat and mouse. And, Zach Ward and Ava, they have other drug dealer friends that show up and they want to kill Chad Michael Murray and Sven. Sven they want to kill them back. It's sort of a back and forth thing. We've got Donna D'Errico in it. Not sure what's going on there, how she ended up in it.
Exactly.
That's kind of the extent of it. I mean, I
thought it was a tough set.
It's a tough, it's, you know what it is? It's like, talking about My Dinner with Andre, where you've got conversations, a whole movie about conversations. This movie was like you either had like conversation padding. I mean, Emmett Furla, Oasis, they are the kings of good padding, right? Or not good padding, but bad padding, right? Difficult padding. You had hostage standoff padding, right? Where you've got Sven has Ava at knife point, and then Zach Ward has Chad Michael Murray at gunpoint, and that hostage scene goes on for about 10 minutes longer than it needed to. So you've got
everything went on too long.
Yeah. Conversation padding, of course. You've got flashback padding, which, I mean, Chad Michael Murray. So that's the other thing too, right? You've got these bearded white guy, former soldiers who are always the heroes in these movies, right? Just always has to be that. And somehow they have a wife and a daughter who's either in peril or who die, right? And so in this case, they die. The death is like one of the funniest things I think I've ever seen in one of these movies, where Chad Michael Murray's character is driving with the wife in the car and the daughter in the back seat, and he's playing with a stuffed bunny rabbit, like a purple bunny or blue bunny rabbit, and he gets into an accident because he's not paying attention to the road while he's playing with a stupid bunny.
I mean, who writes this stuff? I mean, like, also, let's not forget, it's called Survive the Game, right? So Chad Michael Murray and Bruce made another movie called Survive the Night, not a sequel. No. And they're both in it, and Bruce is wearing his classic badge outfit in both of them.
Right.
Of course, hey, the badge is back.
Yeah, and I believe the cover for this with Bruce Willis, they stole his image from Midnight in the Switchgrass.
Yes, they did. Yeah, and even that was like fake from like Acts of Vengeance.
Yeah. Yeah, it's we're comparing this to Jesse V. Johnson, right? Where Jesse V. Johnson is like putting out like something of a certain quality every time he makes a movie. This is like, it feels like so cynical. Like, it's just like, let's just pump this out. We've got a script that's like your basic whatever thing.
The most basic script possible. I mean, like, everything was cliche, nothing really fun about it. Zach Ward and there's that fake Steven Dorff. Was that Zach Ward? In the beginning of the movie, there's like a fake Steven Dorff guy.
Or was that? Well, because Zach Ward. Maybe it was Zach Ward. Zach Ward he was the blonde with the.
I guess he looked like Steven Dorff.
Yeah,
then Ava looked like Harley Quinn.
They were like, let's see how much we can rip off Natural Born Killers. We were joking. What it seems like Emmett Furla Oasis do is they just get a whole bunch of rip-offs from other things, throw them into a blender, and just put it all together.
I mean, like, you gotta be kidding me with Ava in this one. It's like, okay, can you look more like Harley Quinn or Juliette Lewis?
Mm-hmm. It's like, well, and that's the thing too, is that with the ones that we were watching last time when we were talking about the two, or actually the time before when we were talking about the two Johnny Drama movies.
Oh, Hot Seat and the other Wire Room.
Wire Room. Yeah, when you have a guy like a Kevin Dillon sort of propping the film up. And then, of course, Mel Gibson comes in hot seat and also props things up a bit. It makes the movie, it gives the movie a little bit something that gets you through that hour and a half.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I joke that Chad Michael Murray had two faces in this. He had the I smell something funny face, and then the I just tasted something bad face. And that covers about 90% of the faces he makes in the film.
I'm assuming he acts like that in One Tree Hill. I know I never watched One Tree Hill. I thought about watching it once.
Right.
I mean, I have similar shows in my pile, like Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah.
But I don't have that one. It's because I don't know if I care. And and Bruce Willis, I really felt bad for him on this one. Like he did not want to be here. It's like, and it was very like wrong place also.
Yeah, and the other thing too is it's like, I mean, it seems like Chad Michael Murray is the one he works with the most now, or that's the one that they stick in these films the most now. But I mean, you see all the other pretty actor kind of guys like Hayden Christensen does one,
or Jesse Bradford,
and I don't understand like why it has to be them. Is it because I mean I don't
I'm surprised
understand.
we haven't. Oh, go ahead.
No. Well, like at least with Seagal, right? When Seagal would do his movies and we'd have like a younger guy doing the heavy lifting, it's like Byron Mann, or Bren Foster, somebody who can like really get after it and really show some action chops.
Or
like,
even Ja Rule, when I'm just kidding. But it's like
exactly. But still, it's like somebody that like you that works in the role. Whereas like these ones, it's like they're just trying to so hard to sell us on these people who don't belong in these roles. Chad Michael Murray was not, like what's the point of trying to sell us? Yeah,
I'm surprised that Jason Biggs is not in these movies.
Right.
It's like I'm really surprised. I mean, like he's probably next on the list. They probably like go down a list of people like that from the late 90s, 2000s that could be in these garbages.
Yeah.
So he must be on a list.
Yeah. Or was it Sean? Is it Sean William Scott? Is that the one who played?
He might be able to hang on for a little while longer.
Yeah.
Because I think he has some sort of talent to him. If you watch Role Models and other things. I hear he's good in that Lethal Weapon, season 3 or whatever that was.
Oh yes, yes, yeah, that's a good point.
I haven't caught any season 1 or 2 because I hear like Damon Wayans is a diva or Clayne Crawford's a diva. Right. It's like I understand that it takes a long time to make a TV show, especially like an action show like that. But let's not be a diva here. It's like who's not a diva? Christian Slater.
Right.
It's like.
Yeah, he just works. He just does his thing.
He just works. That's what he says. I like the consistent work. I like TV. Yeah. So it's just like, he gets an automatic pass for just about anything. So he can make the worst thing ever. I would probably enjoy it. It's just like.
Yeah. Well, no, I think you make a great point about Sean William Scott, because I think the other thing too is you wouldn't have to sell Sean William Scott in the part, right? Like I guess it would.
But you have to sell Chad Michael Murray or Jesse Bradford. Who's the other person? I forget.
Was it Hayden Christensen? We had Mark Paul Gosselaar in one.
Well, I give him a pass because he's Zach Morris. But it's but I know what you mean.
I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that. I mean, it would be hilarious if we had one with Mario Lopez. Like that would.
I'm really surprised, but is he still hosting Extra? I don't know.
So yes, yeah, he does voice work in some things, but
like probably doesn't take that much time, does it? It's like hosting Extra. It's like. You should be making more of these silly movies.
Yeah, I agree. I think, if we could get Mario. Yeah, I mean, it would be amazing if you had Mario Lopez as like as like this character, so he's got to like.
Yeah, I would like to see that. It would be funny because Mario Lopez is kind of not really the best actor, but he's kind of fun to watch. Because I watched a movie called At a Time, Outta.
Yeah.
It's like a homie or urban movie, and it has Carlos Mencia.
Oh yes, yeah.
In an early role, I was like, "Hey man, I'm Carlos Mencia. I'm being funny and I'm fat, man." Yeah. And it wasn't that bad. Plus, I had Richard Lynch and I think John Saxon.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Odell, or who's the person from Entertainment Tonight?
Yeah, Jennifer Odell. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So it's like, is that her name? But
yeah.
So that's kind of funny. But yeah, Mario Lopez is missing out, and I never seen him with a beard. It's like
no. Oh yeah, he's not some. Yeah, no, exactly.
He's not a beardo.
Right. I mean, the only ones we've seen that don't have beards are when they had either Ashley Greene or
Yeah.
what was it? James King, right? Those two.
Oh, Jamie King.
Jamie King, right? Those were
Yeah.
the two that were not bearded. So when they
Yeah.
when they have a woman play that part, right? They're not bearded, but otherwise it's some bearded white guy who's a former special force. I mean that's the other thing too, is that the women, right? They also weren't former like special forces either. They were just, it was like Ashley Greene's character was just like trained well by Bruce Willis, I guess. That's what it was?
That's basically.
Yeah. And then Jamie King was just sort of, or James King, she was just kind of thrown into it and somehow like survives, right? I think, she teams up with Bruce Willis. And the funny thing about that one, right, was that he just like disappears. Like he just like he's helping her, and then he's like, well, let's split up and we'll get back together. And it's like, why are you splitting up? And of course, the title Out of Death is just a great title for that one too. But
Out of Death. Like I'm out of it. Out of that. I actually thought that wasn't that terrible.
No. I mean, we've seen worse from. I mean,
this might be the worst Willis one we've seen. I don't know, because it's like I really got checked out fast with all this annoying dialogue and shaky cam fights.
Yeah.
The
shaky cam. I mean, the very first fight that we get between the guy Sven, I don't know, the character or the detective, and then Ava and Zach Ward. The volume of shaky cam on that was like almost like you need a Dramamine, I think, for it. Like you're getting like motion sickness from watching it.
100%. It's like, this is okay. If you're gonna give me a headache, you're gonna get almost 2 strikes right off the bat. Just want to enjoy your movie. And I was reading the notes. We said this needs Texas battle.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah, it definitely. I mean, an Emmett Furla Oasis film is bad when we're talking about it needing Texas battle.
Yeah, I know that might be a new low. And then, looking at the other notes here, you mentioned the stuffed bunny, and then we're talking about. Randall Emmett, now he directs movies. He should make a movie. He should be in a movie. Randall Emmett.
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, what's the point of him not being in a movie if we're going to get this? You know what I mean? Like,
that's a great. Wouldn't it be hilarious if Randall Emmett was in the movie as a main character? Which people probably know what this guy looks like, but he's like a slicked back hair, kind of bloated producer guy, at least from his IMDb picture.
Yeah.
And it's like. And then we were saying that he could pay us $5,000 to say that these movies are good on the podcast.
That's the thing, right? Is if Emmett,
it's just $50,000. I'm sorry, $50,000.
I mean, 5 maybe would even get, but it's like we talk about like the whole Emmett Furla Oasis scroll, right? That he goes up to actors with the scroll, and it's like you signed on for life. Bruce Willis is or Texas Battle or whoever.
No, I guess he's fine. But
yeah,
Chad Michael Murray, John Malkovich is coming up. De Niro might be on the list.
Yeah. And we were joking that like if he ever came up to us with the scroll and was like, "Listen, I'm going to give you each $50,000, but you have to, on your podcast, you have to always say that these movies are good." It's like, all right, I think.
All right, that's what we said. Like Survive the Game, I loved it. I love Survive the Game. Great movie.
Yeah. Can you imagine? It was a tour de force. I mean, the action shot, the action. I love the use of shaky cam.
Yeah.
Because it left a lot of. It was like I had to use my brain to fill in the gaps for what I wasn't seeing because I couldn't I couldn't focus on the film.
Better than Paul Greengrass's shaky cam. I mean, like that was, and we said that Zach Ward has a Guy Fieri Halloween costume on.
Right. That's the other. Yeah. So Zach Ward, who for people who don't know, he plays Scott Farkas in in A Christmas Story, but he's the director of this film is James Cullen Bressak, who did Hot Seat when we watched that one, and he also did
masterpiece.
Yes, exactly. He also did Beyond the Law, which is a Seagal film. Yeah, and that one had Zach Ward in it as well. He played Seagal's son in the film, and so Bressak and Ward worked together a good amount. So he's kind of a mainstay. But they want him to look like you said, like some kind of like Stephen Dorff, like Woody Harrelson, sort of like crazy, like Bonnie and Clyde, Mickey and Mallory kind of thing. And what he ends up looking like is somebody going as Guy Fieri for Halloween. That's really what it ends up working out as.
And I wish Zach Ward could save this movie. He can't. I mean, no one could save it. Don DeArco definitely did not save this movie.
No.
He said this, she passes away, right? In this movie, if you're spoilers,
Oh, so yeah. I mean, we can get into her death scene because so of course, right, as you can imagine, with this kind of
right. I hate to cut you off, but I'm saying that from Nicole Eggert to Don DeArco, the Baywatch connection, right?
Right, that's how we write. Right,
yeah.
Nicole Eggert was the earlier seasons, and then DeArco was later. It's like so of course it's that kind of deal where you've got the cat and mouse thing where the baddies are kind of stalking out in the woods, and then our heroes are sort of picking them off here and there, right? And at one point, Sven, to pick off Donna DeArco's character, he grabs like this plastic like tarp kind of thing, and he smothers her with it. And I was saying it was very reminiscent of the DTV '90s thriller Paperboy, where the Paperboy kills an elderly lady with Saran wrap. And remember, when my friends and I watched that movie, we were joking because there's no real sense of where he gets the Saran wrap from. So we were saying that he had like this special ability to create his own Saran wrap from his hands, and then so it was like he was like some kind of like like a mutant or something like that from X-Men.
I can see that.
Right? But
so she got plastic bagged to death, right? So it's like.
Yeah,
and I said she was plastic surgery to death too, because she's unrecognizable.
Yes, well, there's that too, and I mean, she's walking around holding a gun. It doesn't really look natural.
No,
it doesn't. And again, it's this whole thing of like they're supposed to be selling us that Donna DeArco is like some sort of like, drug dealer hit person who like knows how to get stuff done, and she can go out in the woods and track this Chad Michael Murray.
It's a disaster. It's just it's really awful casting. And you don't care, and her acting's terrible, but it's funny, but still terrible. And then
it's and the other thing too. I mean, there's certain things in the like so Chad Michael Murray's character, right? Like a lot of times when we watch a good action film, a Chad Michael Murray character is supposed to be in there to like sort of take care of business. Like he's supposed to be like a fly in the ointment, right? That like, they picked the wrong house, that kind of thing. There's really no sense of they picked the wrong house. I mean, there's one scene where he sneaks back into his house while Bruce Willis is being held. He's like tied to a chair and he's being held by the baddies. And Chad Michael Murray sneaks in, and we think he's going to bust Bruce Willis out, but no, he tries to make a phone call and he gets caught. And it's like, wait, what? Like, what's what is happening here? Like, he's just going to get caught again, and it's like. Then they have this bad guy who's supposed to be like kind of the head baddie, who's played by this kid named
he's like
Chris. Right, he's like a TikTok kid. Yeah, it's like they grabbed a TikTok kid or something, and
this is a new low, another new low for this movie.
Right, because you think about it, like usually it's like a Bruce Willis, right? Or not Bruce Willis, yes, as like the head baddie, or
someone cool,
Mel Gibson, right? John Malkovich. It's like some person with a real presence. They show up and it's almost
some
like
fake TikTok kid that we made fun of, like Tiffany Melissa. It's
right.
Like, hi guys, I'm the bad guy. It's like it's bad tonight game. I don't know what movie this is. That's like Trump, but it's like they may have told you about till they got indicted. I know about that might. Till I got indicted by Stormy Daniels. And it's like, with
that's going to be the next level. Yeah. That's going to be the next level. I mean, see that Trump would have been a fantastic bad guy. Right?
That'd be so funny. It's
and
like,
go ahead.
No, I just crack up at that. I'll do the impression in a second.
I mean, I was just thinking like he's probably like a year or two away from being able to be an Emmett Furlow Oasis bad guy, right?
That's so funny. I totally love Randall Emmett movies. I love Survive the Game. Great movie. I put it on my plane. Trump first one. I'm going to be in the next one. Survive the Night 2 game. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. But I totally got indicted again, so I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to be in the movie. Maybe I could do like a TikTok Zoom video. Okay? It's like Stormy Daniels. It's like, it's like I saw her movies. I saw Hot Shower 6. Great movie. I don't take many showers. It ruins my hair. But I gotta go. I gotta talk about more Randall Emmett. I'll come back.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta wonder if Emmett's people. I wonder if they have reached out to, Trump. To Trump at all. I mean, I guess the one problem is, right? I don't know how it works in terms of security for a former president. Like, if
like any presidents in movies, so maybe like even made it through via FaceTime or something.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't think there's ever been a former president in a movie, has there?
The closest one you're gonna get is what, Richard Nixon and Laughing. It's like
right. Yes.
which is so funny, I guess. He's on laughing. I know wow, that's an old reference, but
Right,
it's
right.
like, "Sock it to me," wherever you always see it sometimes on. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
we did sock it to you. You almost went to jail, sir. It's like it's like
Exactly.
so it's like, but it's fine. Yeah, it's funny he was on that.
I mean, that's kind of the thing with this. And again, I don't know if it saves the movie completely if Trump shows up as the head baddie as opposed to the TikTok kid. Like, I don't know if that does enough to save this movie, but it would have been. I mean, obviously, if Trump was in this movie, like we like everybody would have been watching it, right? Like, so it would have.
Like that's amazing. That it says and President Donald Trump. It's just
Yeah,
like it's
yeah.
like I don't know what the bad guy's name was in this, but it's like
Yeah, who was that? That it was Michael. He just had the name Michael, which is very.
Like, my name's Michael Trump. So it's like sounds like. I was gonna say, do we have
The
to
problem is,
go ahead, please.
I didn't think the only problem is, of course, is that the TikTok kid gets arrested at the end of the movie. I don't know if Trump would want that to happen to him, right? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah. That
I might be getting arrested on Tuesday, April 4th. Baby, Alvin Bragg. It's like that's like his yell version of talking. It's like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of silly. It's like I think he says he wants to, and it's not a political podcast, but he says that he wants to get the perp walk. It's like, if I was Trump, that's the worst idea on the planet.
Yeah. Nobody. Yeah. The perp walk is like. I know. I remember he was demanding that of Kathy Griffin. Remember when Kathy Griffin had the
that's right. The
bloody mask thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wanted her to do the perp walk, and of course she has a good amount of money that her lawyers were like, nope, that's not happening. But yeah. So I wonder if he maybe thinks the perp walk is a nice thing. I don't know. I mean, when you watch a movie, I mean. I think if he's going to do the perp walk, right, it's got to be like, Randall Emmett should get someone like James Cullen Bressak to film it, and
then he can just like sneak him in. Yeah, we need Trump in these movies. I think that'd be really funny. You get Bruce Willis versus Trump, or the other idea we have in our notes here is Bruce Willis versus Randall Emmett in a movie.
Yes, yeah,
and then or even Harvey Weinstein. You just get like these bloated producer guys just to be in their own movies.
Yeah,
because we were talking about that Harvey's in jail. Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, the only appearance I remember him was on Howard Stern when Howard Stern used to be on E, and they were making fun of like how like he was just like completely kissing up to Tarantino because Tarantino was on Howard Stern, and then Harvey Weinstein was just sitting with him, and they were just completely making fun of Weinstein, saying like like all this stuff about how like Tarantino, like whatever Tarantino wants he'd give, because essentially like at that time Pulp Fiction, it was just like he kind of made Miramax at that time. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And what's funny about Harvey Weinstein was, first off, haha, you're in jail, dummy, if you're listening. But well, it's because he's made a lot of he's obviously done some terrible things, but his voice is almost kind of cool though, Harvey Weinstein. I heard his voice on the audio recording of that Italian model.
Right, yeah.
And it sounds like, you touched my breast. And it's like, no, I did not do that. And it's like almost that's like maybe it's a fake voice, but I mean, like he had like kind of a cool voice. It's like,
no, that's the problem with a lot of these kinds of things, right? It's like as we were talking about with Mel Gibson, right, where he's done all these really horrible things, but you watch him in Hot Seat and he's really cool, right?
Yeah, he's so cool. I mean, like he still got it. Harvey Weinstein don't got it.
Right.
He's just a goofball producer who screws up things.
Right, but the voice, you're right. Like it's like like again, we get this TikTok kid as a baddie.
That's
right.
I can't believe that. You're even saying those sentences now.
Right, right. But someone like a Weinstein's voice, at least, like if they'd even just said like, okay, we can't have Harvey Weinstein for obvious reasons because he's just a really horrible person. But let's get somebody who can approximate his voice. Like let's get a voice actor. I mean, there are plenty of Rich Littles out there. That are I saw I listened to a podcast called A Bit of Optimism, something with a guy Simon Sinek, but he had on, I think the guy's name is Bill Farmer, the voice of Goofy. And
that name did sound familiar when he said that. Yeah.
Yeah, he does all kinds of voices. Like he does a great John Wayne. Like getting a guy like that to be, like, again, like you don't show the baddie, right? Like you never show the baddie,
right?
But you have a guy like that come in and play the voice, right? So it's like, if the baddie in this, it was like kind of like what was it, Dr. Claw and Inspector Gadget, right? Where you never see
you never
him.
saw him. We just hear his voice. I know you saw Rupert Everett and Inspector Gadget in the movie.
Right, right.
I know. I always have to say that. It's like, but go ahead.
No, but I was gonna say, like, imagine like instead of the TikTok kid, right? You just have like some like burly like person in the shadows, and then this Bill, you get Bill Farmer, you pay him to talk like John Wayne and be like, like, hey partner, what are you guys doing screwing this whole thing up? But I gotta come in there and clean up your mess,
I can see that, like, okay, Pilgrim, it's like
I mean,
I wish he was still around now. John would be like, let's say he was younger.
Yes.
Then and now he's older now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because then he would be doing like straight to video movies, and it'd be great to see John Wayne in a straight to video movie.
Yeah.
And we got close with Mitchum,
Right.
But it'd be so great. We need to like resurrect these people. It's like because soon we're gonna be just full of TikTok kids like Jake Paul. I ain't even saying his name on a podcast. Okay, I know that guy's kind of a goof. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
Soon Jake Paul is gonna be in a movie with Bruce Willis or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, not Bruce Willis, but
no, but I know exactly. We should say that the guy who plays like the head baddie in this, he actually, I don't think he is a TikTok kid. I think he's an actual actor, but he just looked like a TikTok kid, and it was like, how am I supposed to take any of this seriously?
I just couldn't. That's the whole problem with this. We can go back to the movie then. It's that this whole movie is just pretty bad. I mean, like I gave it a fair shake.
Yeah.
But then I thought, wow, this is not very good. And it kind of became a tough sit. And my finger was on the fast forward button.
Yeah.
For the Tubi. I mean, like, I didn't press it. But
no.
Wow, is it close?
Because you know what it is for us is we're getting lemonade out of the lemons by getting, material for a podcast or a blog post or whatever it is that we want to make out of it. So we get something out of that hour and a half that we spent on this. And I guess the actors themselves, I guess they, like for example, Zach Ward probably looks at it as, or the woman who played Ava in Hot Seat, Kate Katzman.
Look at the work.
Yeah. They look at it as like, okay, I can add something that's a little bit outside of what I usually do to my demo reel. But the problem is like Zach Ward, it would be like, it'd be nice if you had something other than a guy trying to play Guy Fieri for Halloween that's like a mix of like all kinds of tropes of these like sort of Bonnie and Clyde, 90s Bonnie and Clyde characters.
I'm getting tired of that too. It's like, we got to figure some other ideas. I mean, like,
right.
There's like a movie from the 90s. I think it's called Bonnie and like Klepto Clyde or something, like Crazy Bonnie and Teenage Bonnie and Klepto Clyde. Yeah. It's like, I wonder what that is. But I mean, Bonnie and Clyde, I mean, I'm kind of tired of it. It's just,
they just, when we think of the movies that have worked out of this group of these, you think of a movie like American Siege that.
Yes, great point. Yeah, that's a better movie because you cared about what you always remember. Keats.
Yeah.
And Timothy V. Murphy v. The United States. Right. So it's like you actually kind of cared. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not only did you kind of care, right? But they created characters that and of course these two movies came out the same year. Actually, I didn't realize that American Siege and Survive the Game came out the same year.
That's amazing.
Yeah, like you're right. Like they made characters that you could care about a little bit more. The action was more solid, right? Like the shootouts around the location.
Good. That was good. And of course, you get the Bruce Willis as Bruce Banner looking for a ride,
walking down the street.
And that was fun. It was like
that was great.
That was fun, and it was that was a big surprise doing these Bruce Willis podcasts was American Siege.
Yeah,
I did not expect it to be. And of course, Operation Seawolf, which is like you said, the surprise about that, it was good.
Right. Yes.
Still cracks me up.
Yeah, we were expecting a sub movie to be good, but it's interesting how like I don't know. You take an American, and maybe it's just one of those things with these movies, maybe with these Emmett Furlow Oasis films, that it's just like you just throw a bunch of stuff. Maybe it's like you're at the carnival, right? You're at the fair or something like that, and you're like throwing baseballs at the target to try to get a stuffed animal, and it's like there's Emmett Furlow Oasis with like tons of tickets to just get a bunch of balls to throw at the thing.
That's a good point.
Yeah, every once in a while they hit one, right? I guess every once in a while you get the big stuffed bunny, and then you have a car accident and your wife and kid die. But still,
exactly.
you get that.
Exactly.
But I guess
that's what Chad was doing, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. I was wondering about Chad Michael Murray. If we were going to do a bid for series with him, would he move to Chadwick Mike Murray, or would it still have to be Michael as well?
Well, we could just change it around. Chadwick Mike Murray, son.
Yeah, Mike Murray.
So, I don't know. I mean, he was in Left Behind, the movie of Nick Cage, which I thought
was he in that one? Yeah. I haven't seen that one yet.
I have to look up his filmography. I know he's in a couple other stupid things, but is he in Walk to Remember? I never saw that. I know a lot of people like that one.
Oh,
I'm thinking of someone else.
Yeah, I mean, he did some of these Christmas movies as well. Some of like the cheap Christmas movies.
With cheapos and Hallmark. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's done some of those. He he was on shows like Dawson's Creek and stuff early on. But
Dawson's Creek.
Yeah, Dawson. Yeah,
well, he's a himbo. It's like, which is fine. He's not as good as a himbo as Dan Cortez or
no,
or Eric Nees. But
you know what it is about like a Dan Cortez or an Eric Nees himbo is there's a bit more like heft or meat to them that I think makes it a little bit better to stomach.
Well, I'm looking at Chad Michael Murray. He's worked with Bruce a lot. You got Fortress, you got Fortress Sniper's Eye, which I haven't watched those yet. You got Survive the Game and Survive the Night. That's a lot of Bruce. Yeah, look at his career. It's very weird. I mean, like 56 credits. Let's see. So, what's that movie he's in? Oh, House of Wax.
Oh, right.
So he's not in A Walk to Remember, I don't think.
Yeah.
No, he's in the Cinderella Story.
Yeah.
Never saw that.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the character, right? That's the guy. It's like, and it's one of the things I've noticed because Jesse Metcalf had a similar issue with these movies where he's supposed to be like the tough guy in the movie when he's like, again, he's like the pretty guy that, that all the ladies fawn over. And I didn't realize actually Jesse Metcalf is also in the Fortress movies. So that could be interesting to see him.
Interesting. Now I want to watch it. I mean, if it needs to be on Tubi, but I just missed them. I mean, like,
yeah, that's what happened with me. I think I missed part 1, but part 2 was still on there. It's like, well, I don't want to watch part 2 without having seen part 1, even if they probably have nothing to do with each other. But
I'm still interested in watching them. I mean, like, I think I see them at like a Walmart. It's like, well, I don't really want to buy Fortress 1 or 2.
No,
because you don't know what you're going to get into. Will or whatever.
Yeah.
So So for this movie, to wrap up this movie, pretty bad. I wouldn't recommend it. I probably one of the worst Willis movies I've seen.
Yeah. This is everything that you think of that's bad about one of these Bruce Willis movies. It has it, right? So
exactly.
So Willis disappears for like large pieces of the film. There are some kind of funny lines in the film that they don't mean to be. I don't think they mean them on purpose, but like this guy, this one actor, Michael Cera, who we saw in not American Siege. He was in Wrong Place where he's eating a cold hot dog.
I know you love that guy.
Yeah. So he has a line because there's a character named Bob who gets killed, and he's on the phone and he's like, Rob. Actually, Rob. The character's name is Rob who gets killed. And he's like, what about Rob? And I was like, okay, what about, it's like, all right, let's do that. And it's like that kind of thing where the dialogue is just, it's cobbled together dialogue that, it at times goes on longer than it's supposed to. It's not really great. There's an assembly line quality to it. And I don't think you can blame anybody involved with it for the assembly line quality. It's just like, get this movie out there and make it
as quickly as you can. And but everything is very poor about it, very bad about it, dialogue, acting, everything.
Yeah. It's a shame, right? It's kind of like,
could have been an okay movie, but unfortunately it's not because it's not done well.
Yeah. I don't think we've had one that like has been this degree of all around. Like, I mean, we've talked about them being tough sits, but then when we get in and discuss the film, we find things that we like about them. And that's the other thing too, right? We didn't even really
We've
find
said that about Wrong Place, I think.
Yeah.
I think we did say, oh, that's one of the worst ones. Well, now this one really is the worst one.
Yeah, because this one takes anything that was bad about Wrong. I mean, this one takes the bad padding elements of Wrong Place and just takes them up an even a notch further. Because Wrong Place also had flashback padding. It had car accident padding, right?
So that's why it's very similar.
Yeah. the Emmett Furlow Oasis. It's interesting. Like I almost feel like the people who make these movies, like the Emmett Furlow Oasis team, they should watch My Dinner with Andre and see like how you can make a movie with no action in it that still has action with the conversations. But I think it's not possible with these. Like there's just too much happening to get these things kicked out in such a short time that
like Red Boxes, you need this out in like 3 months. We need a new Bruce Willis movie put on Red Box right away, or Tubi. You know, Bruce Willis was still working. I bet he would make Tubi originals. I mean, like, there's been a lot of Tubi originals out there. I still have to check. On a brighter note for this movie, we have to watch these Casper Van Dien's.
Yes. Yeah, and it maybe that's where we go next here. We maybe take a break because I think
from the Bruce.
You know, it's interesting because we went on complete opposite ends of the spectrum today. Like where we had you know, one that was really good. And I don't know, really good is the right term, but one that was
pretty solid. I would say solid, almost a recommend. I'd say.
Yeah. I think especially for people out there that are looking at Jesse Johnson as kind of like you said, like in that vein with like an Isaac Florentine, like one of the best out there for direct to video action. This is going to do what you need it to do for that. It's got the action scenes are all well done, especially the very end one there.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's like you said. I think it is a recommendation. I think it's for that alone, right? It's a solid film, and then we're on the complete opposite end of the spectrum where we're talking about something that I think it's there with Shadow Wolves is like one of the worst that we've seen for these.
And I feel like if we do actually watch Big Money Rustlers, that might be the bottom of the barrel, but we haven't got to that just yet. I mean, like, I know that's that might be one of our toughest hits. I mean, let's like in ICB, but
yeah. Well, we were talking about some different ones that we're thinking about doing. One is a movie called The Most Dangerous Game.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Casper Van Dien, Judd Nelson, CT from Real World in Paris, but also all of the Real World Road Rules challenges. He's from
That's awesome.
the Boston area. I think he's from
he was in that. Okay.
Yeah. He's in it. I mean, I remember watching the Real World in Paris when he was on there, and I remember like somebody's hair was spiked up, and he's like, his hair is on fire, and I just they liked it. I think it was a thing they used to do in the Real World. They would just throw somebody from the Massachusetts area in there, and I remember one, and I think it was the Austin one where the guy's dad died or his mother died, and the dad calls and he's like, "You're lying, Dad. You're lying," and I was like, oh, this is so sad that his parent passed away, but yet he's, the Boston accent is so thick that I'm just like, you're lying, Dad.
I know, you got a little that thick Boston accent, and you got so Most Dangerous Game.
Yeah.
And what was the other one? Oh, it was hopefully Mission Prophet or Red Prophecies, because it has Eric Roberts, Casper Van Dien, Michael Madsen, Alexander Nevsky, and Stephen Baldwin.
Yeah,
like,
that's because the Nevskys and I think it's on Pluto right now, so we can definitely get it. It's actually short for a Nevsky. It's only an hour and 25 minutes, which I almost feel like
that's interesting.
Yeah, you got to take that and run when you get it, right? Because Nevsky's usually pushing 2 hours with his movies. So if Nevsky's getting you into that, yeah.
That could be the next two, just to get that out there on the pod. Just that we'll go to some Casper.
Yeah, I think it might be good to take. We this happened to us before. We had to take a break from Willis as well, and I think I think as good as White Elephant was, Survive the Night really took it out of us, and I think
it did, unfortunately. And then we have to go on Willis break until we get a Detective Night movie or a Paradise Alley.
Yeah,
or City.
I think
if you want to call it Paradise Alley, that's the Stallone movie, right? Paradise City.
Paradise
Travolta,
City. Because what is it? Is Paradise City, and then what was the one? Savage Salvation, right? Or is that what it's called?
Yes, and also I think Willis has like one more movie to come out, which is called Assassin.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's Dominic Purcell also.
Yeah.
So that might be
Dominic
perfect
Purcell.
for Tubi.
Yeah.
So we'll go back to Willis very soon. Hopefully Detective Night movies. Hopefully they're okay.
Yeah, that was one thing we were just debating about is that we were thinking about doing when all three of the Detective Nights are available on free streaming, doing them all in one go. And so we were joking that it could either be really fun or a real slog. So
right. I know you cannot decide which one because it really can go either way.
Exactly. So we'll kind of figure that piece out. But yeah, I think we'll plan on that. Maybe look to do some Van Dien. But yeah, before we wrap up, Ty, anything that you'd like to plug?
Sure. Well, there's Comeuppance Reviews, the podcast, which you were just on. Yeah. No Subject Part 7. We're still working on a subtitle.
Yeah.
And then that'll be out April 15th.
Nice.
And then Taction Rocks' Instagram, that's how you can follow me. I posted Hot Chili today.
I think I like that one.
80s romp. I saw it a long time ago, but if I see it, you're posted. Because I am running out of tapes. So if you see movies like Indiana Jones and the Net and the other Sea of Love, that might be coming up soon.
Yeah.
So that means I'm running out of tapes because I'm very slow at watching tapes. So I'm busy with stuff. But yeah, and thanks again for having me on. It was a lot of fun doing another Bruce Willis thing.
Yeah. I think I that's the other piece, right? It's probably good that we did a good one and a bad one because I think that's like you don't want to put us through the ringer. That we luckily we had a white elephant in there, but yeah, definitely a lot of fun. Again, I think that's the one thing about these Willis films is that we can still kind of have fun with them. Of course, plenty of tangents as well because you just never know like where these films are going to take you.
I think we're going to say survive the tangent. It's like because it's like there's not much about this one. I mean. So
yeah,
but we can end on that. I mean, hopefully you'll be. Oh, we gotta go on your show soon. Me and Brett but do Unsung Dudikoff.
Yeah, I think that's a plan we have in mind
for late April on that one because we're doing this on record. We can talk just off air.
Yeah, exactly. But
just have it on because I'll remember.
Yeah, but this definitely, we'll definitely figure. Yeah, definitely. We've got some stuff in the hopper for everybody, and
Was that something too? Thing about Dennis Hopper in the hopper.
That could be.
I think that was written down actually. Now that you say that.
Yeah, Dennis Hopper would be an interesting one because he's one that especially in the early days of my site, and I think probably the same thing for yours, where it's like, there's just a ton of Hopper out there in the early 2000s, or Hopper DTV stuff.
Yeah, or was. So maybe that'll be something down the line.
Yeah.
So
I
know we should probably do Dudikoff. We should probably do Napier.
Napes. Get some
the
Napes
of Wrath. It's like
yes, exactly.
That's so ridiculous. It's hard. It's tricky to think of these goofy titles,
Yeah.
But yeah, once again, thanks again for having me on.
It
was a lot of fun.
Thanks for coming on again. This was another fun one, and thanks everybody for listening. Bye, everyone.
Bye.